Alright, hello everyone, my name is Disc. Today's video is a 19 Windrunner Spire, good update for my channel. And for talents, I'm running Mass Dispel. You're really going to want that for the first pull primarily, but it does come in handy in other places. Definitely want a Poison Dispel in the party, so we have one coming from our monk. And this is a nice update for Windrunner Spire on my channel. I think the last one was like a 15 or something. I am in the range of 20s now, but I'm just not timing those really. So for the sake of my channel and getting a nice timed key, we're doing a 19. I think we had 4 deaths overall, a minute to spare on the timer. And the biggest changes, you may notice, we're using X-Boss, which puts trash cooldowns on the nameplate. Really nice. And the biggest change ever, really excited to watch it from a third person removed. We're using Ellesmere's UI pack whittled down to his raid frames only. So we'll talk about that more. Let's watch this pull. So the first magic dot I gave a single dispel, followed by a paints up on myself to cover the second magic dot. I gave myself some room just for my opener, so I started attacking the enemies, allowing for the other magic dots to go out. And once we had, I think it was 3 in party, is when I threw my Mass Dispel. And once you get through your Mass Dispel, you're pretty much golden, I feel like. And then if any more magic dots come out, I don't think we get one. You just have to be really quick with your single dispels. Yeah, it goes without saying here, I use my same system as always. I have macros and keybinds to fire Radiance, Evangelism, and Shield at the tank. Makes it really easy. Those are frequent spells. It takes the mousing over out of those casts. So in this pull, I find the Restless Steward. That's our focus. I put a skull on him. My goal here, if I'm remembering correctly, yep, quick dispel. I want to put my Mind Blast on cooldown, get all dots in the field, and then I'm setting up for the Meld Drink. So I don't think I get too much mana here because we are continuing after the Steward, but that's okay. And I think this whole section here is a little bit dicey for me, so let's see how it plays. Everyone's in different rooms. I'm losing range. We have poison dispels that are not being removed instantly. Thankfully, the magic dots are being taken care of. I think our Warlock is using Imp or something. Someone can check me on that. But when it comes to X-Boss, I meant to customize mine more before this taping, this video. I think it is built in using a voice pack, so it like speaks to me. I don't really like that approach. I think as humans, our brains are like strong enough to have a sound stand in for something and understand what it means without it speaking to you. I think it's actually a little bit distracting. Okay, so here's an area where I'd critique our tank. We had, ouch, we had poisons go out and they weren't removed instantly. And I would say that was a contributing factor of the death from our Warlock. I'm probably going to have to watch this again myself, but the Warlock died with a magic dot. I might say I'm having to heal the poisons that he's not dispelling when I needed to be healing the Warlock. But yeah, I meant to customize this more with X-Boss. But it's really nice having cooldowns on nameplate again. As a healer, you know, it's all about timing your spells. And on Trash, we've just been flying blind. But yeah, here we have the big cat. And you see he has a cooldown timer on his nameplate. These type of features are super powerful. but my words of encouragement would be use them sparingly. So I think in my profile I have most spells turned off unless they have to do with heals, timing heals. More importantly, if they have to do with timing heals and it's an invisible timer. Okay, yeah, so it goes without saying, anytime you're picked with that pounce, I'm queuing Fade. Really important to have that on a easy keybind. Okay, so if anyone notices, we're running into a bit of a problem here where I have 0 mana. Common problem for Disc. I play a Radiance to bank the proc, and then I meld out. And so one thing I think I turned off with X-Boss, which I want to turn back on, is when the birds do the flame spit, or fire spit, whatever it's called. It's really nice to hear an audible from those, and I think I have it disabled, so we'll see in a second. But we see on the nameplate here, the Spore Dispersal is right on time with what X-Boss is showing us. And I countered it with my uppies. And I'm not sure if I've highlighted yet. I think this is a good moment. So we're using Ellesmere's UI pack. Everything is turned off except raid frames. And that is because he and his team have somehow figured out how to bring back in seeing targeted casts hooked to the unit frame. So that is major for healers. Evangelism. So this is a great place for your fear. Great place for meld if you're selected. Yeah, these fire spits. I need to go back in my settings and make sure they're enabled. For a place like that with having fear in our toolkit, I think the best way to go about utilizing it is have your game beep at you as soon as one of these fire spits starts. And then yeah, so you just kind of like listen for the beep and mash Psychic Scream. Yeah, it looks like I have it turned off. Okay, this boss, I don't think is too much on the healing, but it's heavy on mechanics. So we have a 2-target cleave, and on open here I hold Mind Blast because we have a Burning Gale almost instantly. So with that 2-target cleave, pretty much like a flash heal and then a defensive penance is all you need. Okay, so for this first one, throw a Pants Up on the tank because he's still managing ads. I use my Desperate Prayer. There's no shame in getting it rolling early. And I cast when I can and try and stay moving. And I also think I noticed right before this boss, I failed to set my macros that healed the tank. So I think I'm running manual all the way until after this boss, but I do fix it. All we're tracking here goes without saying with Bigwigs. I'm only tracking the Burning Gale. That's our invisible timer, if you will. Let's see how I play this one. Probably Evangelism. Radiance into Evangelism, getting those procs. Health pushing. Defensive penance are your friends in this area. By the skin of our teeth.
Mark.
So we do get an uppies here. I think this is a great place for uppies when it comes to timing. Now those 2-target cleaves, not too much to them. But you do hear, for example, what I was talking about with the voice pack. I do not love a UI that speaks to you saying take hit and all that stuff. AoE. I need to turn that off. If anyone wants my X-Boss, I think it's shareable. So I'll make all these edits, then we can share it. If anyone is interested in the comments, let me know. But yeah, for bosses, I guess it's a little bit overkill. So I prefer bigwigs for tracking bosses, but X-Boss also has a boss module. So I have two things beeping at me for every spell here. It's just not the best. Not configured yet. Yeah, so I think the best approach, turn everything off for bosses, let bigwigs handle bosses, and then use X-Boss for trash.
AoE.
Okay, and I believe this is where I place my uppies. Mind Blast on cooldown first. Death squeezed in on my way up. And down.
She reminds me of Varisa. My sister was
Okay,
also
I have no
ferocity
mana.
itself if her
Both
family
paint
were
ups, evangelism at the ready.
Come, let's find the next relic.
So I do have meld. I think this is going to be the same play as before. Kill the steward, meld out for mana.
To the task, including her life.
Oh, they were waiting here for me to drink. I was planning to do it after pull. So whatever. I hope I set my tank healing macros. No, it looks like I'm still casting on myself by default. Okay, I mass dispelled that one.
With a bow gifted by our mother.
And meld.
Undead fanatics have invaded to loot.
So I'm noticing not every meld works. There's like an art to it. Sucks when your meld fails. Okay, I set my focus early on the big one. We see its timer on the nameplate. Thanks, X-Boss. Standing in the doorway to cast my Radiance to get anyone who is behind. So, I think I was talking about it in my last video, but not every magic dispel is testing reaction times. These are. It's like, for example, I lost half my health there from the poison before it took a dispel. I would say needs to be a lot quicker. I don't care if you're the tank. Honestly, I preferred coming into Windrunner with 2 poison dispels in group. Uh-oh. Our Warlock, I think, stood in ground damage there. And this pull, not too threatening, but it is a little bit long. So I really try not to hold back on cooldowns. And anytime you're picked with this mechanic like I have now, you definitely want to queue a defensive. So it looks like I played Desperate Prayer for myself there, plus a defensive penance. Just got PI. And I kind of like just running Fade here on cooldown in case you're picked. Okay, I was picked again. Fade for the damage reduction, play a flash heal for more damage reduction. Meld for mana. I don't know what I would do. I've not been too up with the times on other healers, but apparently other healers don't have a problem like this. And I really did not like this pull here. I think he was a little eager to run out the door. It was splitting us up, and it put us in a threatening place where I couldn't heal.
Everything to Sylvanas once. I'll need it.
Okay, that poison dispel was quicker. I don't think the lock would have died if it was any longer. Okay, we have boss. Pretty much full mana here. Don't need full mana for this guy. So tracking 2 timers with bigwigs. And they look renamed, so I have to fix that too. But we're tracking the spit, the poison, and we're tracking the shriek. And the cadence of this fight is pretty easy. It's like every other one hits harder. So every other one is where, you know, I might place my evangelism, or I might place uppies, or paints up on myself, desperate prayer, things like that. But we don't have any decurses here. I would say not the strongest comp. Yep, so here's the second one. Cute evangelism with it.
AoE. What have you done? Draw.
Trying to stay out of the way here, but watch. Oh. Golly, Hunter. I don't care if you're number 1 on the DPS. Get off me.
Dispel.
Yeah, that thing where bigwigs automatically renames all the spells. I don't know why they would have that enabled by default.
Draw.
God. I was getting in a bad spot there. I gave myself a shield, anticipating a hit from the ghost.
AoE.
Thankfully, I had a shield on, and thankfully, I had a defensive penance for myself. Okay, we're at 40% here.
Draw.
If you play your cards right without attack, you can precast your Radiance on top of the hit. I would say that's probably about the best you can do.
Dispel.
But it is a little bit of it's a little bit risky business, because if you stay in that slime too long, you're effed.
Draw.
I just lost my dots. It's okay.
AoE.
And, you know, even though this is a pretty high key level, a 19, most of my penance are still going offensive. And I'm reserving Shadowmans to really do my healing. I'd be curious to see like a spreadsheet of a percentage, like how many of my penance went defensive versus offensive. But still a lot of them are going offensive. I think different keys have different splits.
Have one more relic to find.
Okay. Curious to watch this pull back. I don't think I did my best. I don't think we had a death, but let's just see how it goes. Better if you can bait those into the wall. So I have all cast bars on screen right above my target. So Uppy's covered one. Then I got locked. Paints up on our tank. Just got PI. Sent it. But these two, I'm curious to look at my Xboss settings. The interrupting screech should be making an audible noise for us. There are, I would say, too many casts here to kind of rely solely on like your skill level. It'd be better if one of them stands out with a sound. Chime in if you know too. I'm noticing Xboss is less than perfect. So like not every spell works. Some spells work inconsistently. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know. Okay, that was a sick-ass meld. Full mana. We needed that.
The ghosts of vengeance past. We'll need that map from them.
In this last hallway, not too hard, but no joke either. Definitely want to set our focus on this big guy. And what we're really watching here for is this Flame Nova. When it's overlapping with someone's bleed. So the bleeds on their own, not a big deal. The Flame Nova on its own, not a big deal. Overlapping, someone's going to die. And so with Ellesmere's raid frames, I'm still getting used to them, but these bleeds are just showing as a solid border. I'd rather than be a dotted line. Okay, about to get PI. I hope we send it. Yeah, we've got to get through this pull. Evangelism was used as well. And all I'm doing here is paying close attention to anyone holding a bleed, babysitting them the best I can. But that pull took 60% of my mana. Okay, a couple natural dots here before the Flame Nova. I would say very important to have Shadowmans in our back pocket here.
AoE.
Nice AMZ. I had a shield on though. So I used a Desperate Prayer here. I guess I'm not going to fault myself for it too much, but there was not an overlapping mechanic.
AoE.
So like right here there is. I got another bleed, plus the Flame Nova. Had to use my last paints up and a health pot. So could have played that one better, but this is an example where that Flame Nova is inconsistently showing up on the nameplate. So I guess I wish I could see that timer. Oh, excuse me. Okay, got a meld drink, needed it. I think we have a death on this boss. Probably contributing factors myself. But importantly, we have to watch for mechanics at 66 and 33.
Mark.
And pay close attention to our bleeds. So I believe our Warlock here takes most of them, which is nice.
Stack.
I think for most of these dot mechanics, I counter it with a Mind Blast, a Radiance, and a Defensive Penance.
Tank hit.
And just one of those casts is all the person needs.
Mark.
Was holding a Void Shield. Worked out. Yep.
Stack.
Mind Blast was played, a Radiance, and a Defensive Penance into the lock. And we are at our threshold here, so let's see if anyone dies.
Intermission.
So there was probably a spell he could have played, who's to say,
Away.
but I think the easiest fix there would have been something like just give him one more flash heal.
Away.
I think I even had an instant flash heal I could have given the lock. But I went into an uppies,
Tank hit.
which isn't the best health recovery for a spot like that. But he's up. 2
Mark.
battle reses left. We're all good.
Stack.
Oh god, that was scary. Okay, our next threshold is 33.
Mark.
Our Warlock is being our MVP.
Stack.
Defensive penance to cover him. And we're approaching 33. Let's hope we have no deaths this time. Gave myself a shield plus
Information.
a fade. And countered that with an evangelism as a reaction.
Away.
So I talked about it in the past. Well, my last video. Discipline right now is very
Away.
reactionary in its gameplay. I don't love it. Like what happened to Rapture, you know? Excuse me. Nevertheless, a lot of what we do is reactionary. Radiants kind of have their place.
Stack.
We attack enemies the best we can. We play void shields as they come. But in a lot of places with a lot of spells, we're reacting. A little boring.
Mark.
I honestly think that Warlock should have played a health stone. Okay, Mind Blast, Radiance, and a defensive penance to recover for the lock.
Tank hit.
Boss down. So I haven't talked about it yet, but this is a good moment. Before this little thap,
One last task.
I try and cast a shield. I'm thinking, how high can I stack palms in this moment of out of combat? I know it's small, but it's an out of combat cast that affects you and helps you in combat. So right now we have 14 in the field. Something I think about.
The restless heart that haunts us. Please.
Okay, PI's in 20. We're trying to coordinate in party chat. I think I play Evangelism on the first arrow rain just to get it rolling. I fade before the arrow rain. And PI the DK, he said he had army. Yeah, here goes our Evangelism. Flooding heals the best I can. Setting up for the jumpy Wumpy. And honestly, I don't know the cadence of this fight too well. But with bigwigs, it looks like I'm tracking the arrows. This is light ticking damage. Uh-oh. And then I'm also tracking this next spell, Clear Pools. I forget what the actual name is called.
Clear.
But these are both of our group-wide damage attacks. Yeah, I gotta work on my UI some.
Mark.
Okay, with these attacks, the Bolt Gale, I don't really track the timer of it because it's not invisible. You can see it coming. But really all you need is a defensive penance, perhaps a paints up. I think that's what I did there. I think I'm queuing up for my uppies round here. You can save an arrow and uppies over the wall. Queued in a death on the way up. Mind Blast on the way out. Radiance into Evangelism. Really nice sequence, if you ask me.
Tank
I think
hit.
other people play it differently, but I like it.
Clear.
Alright, so the fight is almost over. The whole dungeon's almost over. So I think I load up on defensives here. Yep. So I played Desperate Prayer, a defensive penance. I think I also used a health pot there, or maybe health stone. No reason to hold them for the next dungeon. Two minutes on the timer.
Dodge.
We have one pain sup left.
Tank hit. Clear.
Queued my fade. Might have been a little bit early to cover for this. Never mind, I'm 100% health.
Mark.
Okay, I picked again. I wait for the attack to go out, then I paint up. Mind Blast for buffed penance, and sent it defensively into myself.
Error.
Last evangelism here. And boom. So I think Windrunner is probably one of my favorites mechanically. I find it really fun and engaging. Too bad we had a death on the last boss from the Warlock. I think I can take at least partial credit there. Always good to look at yourself. But kind of fun to watch this back with my UI changes. Big shout out to Xboss for trash cooldown tracking, and big shout out to Ellesmere for targeted casts on unit frame. So I still need to do some configuration of those add-ons, but I think they're both shareable. So if anyone's interested in following my lead here, happy to share it. Just let me know. Let me know you have some interest, and I can settle that up for my followers. But yeah, until next time, everyone, Disc.